Hello. You might be aware that we've just had an election in the UK. And what I'd like to do is to explore the results of this election with MicroStrategy AI. I'm hoping to do this in 3 steps. The first step is to upload the data and get MicroStrategy's auto dashboard to generate visualizations for me based on the data that we've uploaded. The second stage will be to use MicroStrategy's auto answer feature, which will look at the data and we'll be able to ask it questions and it'll hopefully produce meaningful results. And then last but not least, I'd like to put that data set into a MicroStrategy Auto bot and enrich that data set with some data that would give us some insights on why one particular constituency in the UK would have voted one way or another. Let's see. So if you're sitting comfortably, then we'll begin. So the first step is to get hold of the data. So I've got a data set downloaded on my machine. We're going to upload it into a data import cube, and then we're going to set auto dashboard loose on it. So let's see what happens. Right, so here we are. We're on the website of the UK Parliament in the House of Commons library, and they're very helpfully placed for us a spreadsheet that we can download that contains the list of all the winning members of the election. Okay, so here's let's find the download, which is here, winning members. Okay, so we've got the data on our disk. Now we're going to switch to MicroStrategy library. So my challenge there, to make it more interesting, is that I'm going to do all the upload and all the manipulations directly from library. So this is the web interface that we have called library, not web. Okay, so let's start. I'm going to first click on that plus button there, create new. Create new what? Well, create a new dashboard. And I can pick a data set. However, we don't have the data set uploaded yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a blank dashboard. Here we are, blank dashboard, nothing at all. So what we need is some data to start with. I'm going to click on the data set area there, and I'm going to say, let's add some new data. Right, and we're going to pick a file from disk. You can see all the different things that you can do there, but we're going to pick file from disk. And we're going to go to our downloads folder with the winning members spreadsheet. So let's open that. Wonderful. So I'm just going to save that. Right, so the data set is actually currently embedded in my dossier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save the data sets just quickly and make sure that it's available outside of the dossier for other dossier. We have to call them dashboards now, sorry. I'm just going to go there. I'm going to say election 2024 data and save. Wonderful. So we've got our election 2024 data. Now if we inspect it quickly, we can see things that we recognize. However, there is something that bothers me a bit. I know the data set contains the majority. So let's go and have a bit of an edit. Let's go and edit the data set. Right. So there's a column there. No, there is nothing that shows us the majority at this stage. Okay. The government website promises me some more interesting data by the 12th of July, so I might well update this data set when this comes along. So I'm just going to cancel that because there's nothing I need to do really. Okay, so there we are. We have a data set. Now let's do something. So let's see what Auto Dashboard can do for us. So what does it let us do? Let's see. So you see it's picked up a metric there, which is just row count. It's one per row basically. So let's just give that a try now and see what it does. See if it does anything sensible for us. Well, that's sort of interesting. It's telling us that new members, there are 335 new members, and 300 members have been re-elected. So first of all, the first thing we get is that there's quite a bit of churn. So let's we're going to add that to page. There you go. So that's already a useful insight. Okay, so what else do we have there? Right. I'm just going to say, show me row count by party name. Okay, now let's see what happens now. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? So let's add that to our page. It's rather interesting. So it says we've got 368 Labour MPs, 121 for Conservatives, and so on and so forth. I'll just move myself out the way. And then you can see all the other parties. Okay. There are conversations to be had about this election which transcend really the scope of this video. I just want to show you what we can do with Auto and the election data. And, so far, so good. I've managed to get quite a lot of information. Now, there's another interesting piece of data I've spotted. And I just need to find out what the thing is called. Let's see. Yes. So let's try something different now. Right. Okay. So now let's show me row count for all results. Now that hopefully what I'm hoping that will do is it'll show us the actual movement. So whether it's a hold, that means it's the same candidate or the same party holds it, or whether it's a switch. So let's see. Perfect. So that's exactly what I wanted. So I'm going to add that to the page. I'm really rather happy with that. Okay, Let's save our dashboard. Right, so what we're going to do now, we're just going to have a look at the dashboard without all the intervening panels. So let's just go back to library. And here's our dashboard here. Right, okay, so it's not, super good looking because we haven't done any formatting. But we can already see that it's managed to give us some interesting information. So we've got, for instance, all the new MPs, all the re-elected members, and historical members. I'm quite sure what historical member means, but I'll have to have a look. And then we can see the composition of the election results. And you can see, as I say, a large number of Labour MPs and a much smaller number of Conservatives. And I'll try and say this without any gloating in my voice whatsoever. And then row count by result. So what's interesting there? So the result is basically, was the constituency Labour before the election of a Labour MP? Which constituencies have switched from Conservatives over to Labour? We can see a large number there. Those that Conservatives managed to hang on to. So let's say there. Those that have gone to the Liberal Democrats from the Conservatives. Those that have gone to Labour from the Scottish National Party. And so on and so forth, with all the smaller parties happening down there. Okay. So I would say step one concluded and achieved, I think, more or less to my satisfaction. The data set is very simple, but I've managed to get Auto Dashboard to give me some rather interesting insights. So, job done. Well, now we have a dashboard with some visualizations automatically generated by Auto Dashboard. So it's time to use the second part of MicroStrategy AI, which is Auto Answer. Well, so here's our dashboard again, and I've done a few cosmetic changes just to make it a bit more colourful and put a nice picture of the Houses of Parliament as a background. But that's it. Pretty much that's the three visualizations that were generated by Auto Dashboard in the previous part of this video. So now we're in sort of presentation mode. Now I know that doesn't exist really in library, but this is the way that a consumer would look at the dashboard. And what we've also got here is we've got some auto functionality, and it's called Auto Answer. You summon Auto Answer by clicking on that button up here. So you can ask questions about this page and its related data. And you can click on a specific visualization to narrow down your inquiries. How interesting. So let's see. Let's move myself out of the way first. So, which party name has the highest row count? Well, it's pretty obvious, really, but let's just ask the question. Okay, and let's see what it says. And yes, the answer is, as we expect, Labour. Now, what candidate type had the highest row count? Well, again, we can see this from the answer there. So let's click on that and let's see, first of all, that it's actually telling us the truth. Right, so we see there's a large number of new members with a total of 335 rows. Good. Let's see what else we can have. So what result is associated with the most candidate types? So let's see what that says, because that's probably actually going to be quite challenging. Let's see what it comes back with. Right. Okay. That might be interesting. On the other hand, I'm not sure it adds any value. What we need to do is think of a question that you could answer through this. So we've got this area, and I think it's called results. So I'm just going to ask which result has the highest row count. Let's see. Right, okay. So that tells us that the party that hang on to most of his seats was Labour. Okay. So now, which party name has the highest, put that in lowercase, has the highest number of members? Well, that's interesting. 154 members. I don't think that's right. We're going to say it's a bad response. I would say incorrect data. So what we've done there is we fed back to auto that we're not 100% happy with that response. It does happen, so you have to sort of trust but verify. I might have phrased the question wrongly. Also, what I didn't do, highest number of members. You see, probably what I should say is which party name, party name has the highest row count. Let's see if it comes back with a different number of 193. Right, so that's correct. Yeah, 368, 368. That's the correct answer. So you see our data set is quite simple, and there's not many columns to analyze by. There's hardly any metrics, so there's really a limited number of questions we can ask of this data set. So what's the next step, I hear you ask? Well, we could add more data. We could certainly wait for the next data set to come out. We will show all the participants in the election at local level. So we'll start getting some insights like who came second where, and what was the majority, because that's quite important. Some of these members won on wafer thin majorities, others on colossal majorities. Okay, so that would be useful to know, but we can't really tell that with the data set we have, so it needs to be augmented. Okay, so that's auto answers. So auto answers will give you insights providing your data set is fairly rich, and you can see that pretty much most of the questions are asked could be answered from the visualizations that we saw there. Nevertheless, it does point out some interesting things. If we go back and look at the history, we can see that results, where we cross-reference results and candidate types which aren't on a graph, then it came up and showed us some interesting stuff there. All right, so we're ready for the next stage. We are now leaving the realm of the dashboard and going for a deeper dive with the MicroStrategy AI bot. We'll be using the same data set that we had before. I was going to sort of enhance it with more data, but actually let's see what the bot can do with the data that we have already. Well, we're back in our library. So I'm going to click on this button here and create a new bot. So first of all, it's going to ask me to find a data set, and let's see where we are. My data set should be in there somewhere. Lots of data sets, you can see. Let's sort this by owner. There you go. So that's the data set that we've been using up until now with auto dashboard and auto answer. So let's click on create. So a bot is a interesting artifact as far as MicroStrategy is concerned, because we're not really creating reports, we're not creating dashboards, we're actually creating a bot. So the bot is a machine, an artificial intelligence machine, that is going to look at the data and ask you all sorts of interesting questions. So let's do a bit of customization first. First of all, I'm going to call this bot Laura K. Those who are listening from the UK will know who I'm referring to. She's the esteemed political correspondent for the BBC, and I think she'd be an ideal personality to present us with election data. So, hello, I am Laura. Okay, your political correspondent. What would you like to know? So I'm in edit mode on the bot at the moment, so I can configure it. I'm just not going to go through all the options because there's quite a lot to discover there. Let me add a question mark there. But you can see a difference in the way the bot behaves compared to auto dashboard and auto answer. Because the bot can see the entirety of the data set and not just visualizations, it's able to ask some already quite interesting questions. So for instance, this one, generic diversity in election candidates. So you can, select topic suggestions. There's other settings that we can have. But let's go with that for now, because I'd like to see what it's capable of doing. So let's save the bot. And yep, it's in the right place. I'm going to save it there. So let's see if Laura is ready to answer our questions. So first of all, gender diversity in election candidates. Let's see what it comes up with. Right, okay. Well, it's gone to town somewhat, hasn't it? Right, this is of limited value. Which country has the highest number of female? It would be interesting to see that as a percentage, actually. Right, okay, let's try some related suggestions. Well, There aren't any. Okay, so which party name has the highest number of female members? Okay, so this is, I'm taking a risk there because I'm not actually using the suggestions. I'm just going to type in thing and see if the bot can actually understand what I'm asking. Let's see. Well, that's very helpful. Labour has the highest number of female members. That is good to know. So let's see what other questions. Has it got any related suggestions? Yes. Let's see if it comes up with anything. Right, so I think we've got these questions answered there. So you can see that it's basing its questions and its possible answers on the entirety of the data set. Okay, so now then, let's see if gender has an impact on the result type. So which result, so let's say which gender has the highest impact on result. Now it may well complain because result is not a metric, so let's see. It might not be able to answer that question. It wants a metric. Right, okay, let's rephrase that. So which, so that's a little bit more of a sequely type answer, or question, sorry, and let's see what that does. So I've given it a metric. The only metric we have is the row count, so it's basically one per row, and we'll see what it comes back with. Right, so what's it given us? Okay, right. Okay, so I always find this rather hard to interpret. Over average row count, so. Okay. Ooh, okay, just shows a little pie chart there. Okay. That's moderately helpful. I mean, the pies are tiny, so you need some glasses to see what they say, but right, in which case, green hold. Yeah, 100% female. I get that. Green gain from lab, the gender female. That's good. Independent gain from lab, that's male. Okay. Right, let's see. It's con hold. DUP hold. Right, okay, let's look at lab gain from con. So basically that's saying that 74 ladies managed to gain the seat from Conservative. Now we don't know what the gender of the previous seat was. Okay. So, yeah, that's quite good. That's quite informative. Okay, so I suppose the question is which category has the lowest amount of male holds? So yeah, but that depends on the number that we have. So you've got 100% there, but there's only sort of 5 instances of this. Right, so anyway, I think you get the idea what you can do with the bot. So what would be useful is to enrich the data set with more data so we can really sort of put the bot through its paces. And there we are. I think that concludes our session about a whistle-stop tour of the 2024 Parliamentary Election with MicroStrategy AI. There'll be more to follow, but I think that's enough for now. Thank you.